up, gang? Hey man, I'm gonna be reacting to a really good video. These guys did a very good job at being very politically correct, basically saying some of the things that I say, but I'm gonna really break this video down. I'm gonna give you a ton of gold nuggets, so make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you join the CLG community. It's only $48 a month, less than $500 a year, and you get a one-on-one call with me for free when you jump in. Just send me a DM, and you get access to the hard 30. You get to see me for 30 days, go out around the Miami area, Minnesota, and you get to see my results by using the CLG process. And without further ado, let's just jump right into the video.
Why are women hardwired to melt down a relationship, to sabotage a relationship? Everything that attracted them to you as a man, from my experience, once you get in a relationship, those are the things that they want to change about you. Why did you want to be with me if I had all these characteristics and all these traits when we first met, but now those are the things you want to change? But you wouldn't have been attracted to me in the first place if I wasn't doing those things.
The most attractive thing a woman finds in a man is competency, but a competent man is a dangerous man. When a woman gets with a very competent man, she starts to feel insecure because she's like, oh, he could get other options. There might be a better girl than me out there. And so their instincts kick in to try and neuter the man. It makes sense because women are going to raise children and they're going to be very vulnerable when they do that. So they do what's called nesting at homes. As soon as they started getting into that feminine space, they started creating a home and decorations and getting ready for the baby and all those types of things. But they try to nest their man. All the things are making him powerful. All the things are about it. Him going to the gym, him hanging out with his buddies, him spending time at work. All of these things that are making him attractive to begin with are now threats. She's going to be like, I don't like it when you go to the gym so much. And I don't like that guy. I don't like it when you hang out with him. And as guys, we have this innate conditioning from society and all this programming that our job is to sacrifice for our woman. And so we think if she sees me sacrificing for her, she'll recognize how much I love her and she'll love me back. And the second you start doing that is the second she stops respecting you and she stops being attracted to you. You're not competent anymore.
I like what he was saying, but I feel like he said it in a very politically correct way. At the end of the day, I'm just gonna give it to you raw, real, and straightforward. What happens with women is, I don't know if you noticed this, but basically, I was looking at all the girls that I used to hook up with in high school. Not all of them, obviously I don't know all of them, but like some of the girls I used to date and things like that. And every single girl I used to date in high school, every one of them was top tier, if not one of the hottest, or they were bombshells back when they were younger, back when they were in high school. Every single one of those girls is a lot less attractive than they were when we were in high school. Every single one of them. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever the ages were. Every single one of them, just randomly, I decided to go back to the past to just look at them. Every single one of them was less attractive, gained more weight. They just did not look as good as they used to look when we were in high school. And that's just what it is. At the end of the day, when a girl is trying to lock down a man after she has had her fun, what she's trying to do is she's trying to lock that man down because she knows that it doesn't get any better. For most women, they lose that tight, firm, succulent beauty that they had when they were younger, and as they age, they know that it doesn't get any better. But this is what women fail to understand about men. Men are extremely loyal, and men are actually built to suffer and endure. Do you understand what I mean? So, for example, even if we see that the girl is no longer as attractive as she was when she was in her 20s, when she was at her peak, whatever the case is, if we decide to have a family with this chick, we are actually, women don't understand that we are actually built to endure, and our loyalty is way more stronger than theirs. We are loyal to the idea of the marriage. Even if, this is why you see guys, their wives get fat, whatever the case is, they stay with the woman. But women don't understand that we are loyal because a lot of them aren't really loyal. And what I mean by that is, when you think that a girl is in love with you and you think that a girl is loyal to you, the way that you would look at it, the way that you would have to view that to really understand what I'm trying to say is you have to understand that she is only loyal to you and in love with you right now, as it benefits her. They try to trick you as if women are the more loyal gender. That is not the case. Women are more loyal to how they feel. They're not actually loyal to the relationship itself. Does that make sense? So as we go deeper into this, what happens is women believe that you're going to do what they do. Because women understand that when they hook up with somebody outside of the relationship, they understand that if I was to cheat on my man, I have no respect for my man. I no longer love my man, and I'm looking for his replacement. But they don't understand if a guy was to do the same thing, he is still loyal to the relationship. Even if the other girl is hotter, more submissive, feminine, whatever the case is, the guy will still be loyal to the relationship, especially if they have kids, especially if she's unattractive, because the guy wants to be in his child's life. But women don't understand that side of us. They don't understand how loyal men naturally are. Now, there are some feminine men and things like this, and whatever the case is, men raised with just their mothers and stuff like that, they're not loyal to any, it is what it is, because they operate just like women. And this is the crazy part. A lot of women choose those type of guys, the guys that operate like them. You get what I'm trying to say? But that's a whole deeper story for a whole nother time. But what I'm really trying to break down to you guys is women don't actually understand how truly loyal a man is. They really don't. Because they think of everything through their lens. So when a woman imagines herself hooking up with another guy, she's thinking of it as, well, the only reason I would hook up with another guy is if I have no respect for my guy and I actually do not no longer want to be in the relationship and I'm looking for his replacement. But she doesn't understand that a guy could be hooking up with a girl purely for sexual benefit. This girl can do a little bit more things. I have an extremely high sex drive. She can do things that you're not willing to do. But I will not leave you or my family for her. Women don't understand that level of loyalty that a man has. They do not understand that. You know what I mean? And I just had a situation where the guy, and this, I know this to be true, right? Whatever. There are going to be outliers. I know this to be true because I've had several friends tell me this. I had a friend just recently when I was at the courts. He told me, he said, he's been telling me him and his baby mama has been in arguments. The only reason him and his baby mama has been in arguments is because he doesn't necessarily get a lot of pussy, right? Let's just call it what it is, right? So what happens with men a lot of the times is a man is built to suffer because he doesn't get a lot of pussy and he's not a bad looking guy and he makes money. He does day trading, things like that. He lives in the Miami area. But the thing is, because he doesn't get a lot of pussy and because because women are so difficult, he can, just like many men, he can never date a girl that's close to his level. He's not in the COG or whatever the case is. He just takes what he can get. So he can't date girls that's close to his level. So what he does, like a lot of other many men do, is they date women that are 2 to 3 notches below their level. And what ends up happening is he has to date this girl because that's all he can get. But as he gets to know this girl, he starts realizing, I really am not attracted to this girl. Sexually, physically, emotionally, whatever the case is, I'm not attracted to her at all. But I did get her pregnant and I'm going to be a man and I'm going to take care of my son, right? But what this girl does is, because she knows that he's not attracted to her, but he's still loyal to her. Does that make sense? He's not attracted to her, but men can endure and can suffer. What she does is she argues with him every day. She cusses him out every day. She's pissed off every day. She's controlled by her emotions. She tries to take him to the court. She does all of this stuff. And then eventually what she does is she just packs up one day, moves to New York, and it breaks him. And it doesn't break him because of her, because he's not in love with her. That's the thing. And he told her, he was honest and upfront. He's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not necessarily, it is what it is. He's like, I'm not necessarily in love with you. You can do whatever you want, but I need to be in my son's life. That's exactly what he said, word for word. Me and you aren't in agreement because not only is she unattractive physically, she's also masculine personality. So you got to understand, this guy had to settle for a girl that's lower than him in every single category and then he doesn't even garner the respect for dating down, because that chick still feels like in her heart of hearts she could have done better, even though she couldn't have done better, because if she could have done better, she would have. Women are extremely hypergamous. The man that they end up with is the man that's the man that they can get. Let's just call a spade, because the other men that they actually were super attracted to, once those men got to know them, those men no longer wanted to deal with them. You gotta keep up with me on this. So with his situation, she not only was unattractive, but she wasn't feminine. So nothing about her turned him on. Now, a lot of guys gonna be like, well, it's his fault. He shouldn't have nutted in her and shouldn't have had a baby. It is what it is, right? It happened, right? This guy doesn't get sex. Even though you would look at this guy and be like, oh, he gets laid. No. Miami, Florida is extremely difficult to get laid. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Today's time, it's extremely difficult, right? Unless you are CLG, you don't make that many mistakes, you have a process, it is what it is. Because women are becoming more and more hypergamous as time goes on. You feel me? It was even easier back when I was in high school to even get laid. Now, you can't really make too many mistakes at all. Like, you got to be CLG to UDIE. I still get put. I mean, you guys can join the CLG community and watch the Hard 30. I go 30 days. I just get outside. I don't even go out that much. Very few approaches, and you see the results that I get. But CLG is needed in a sense. It is needed in a sense to get laid in today's economy. And the only reason I say get laid is because that is the only way you'll find a decent girl, is by having options. See, what happens with most men, just like this guy that I'm telling you about, what happens with most men is they take what they can get, and what they can get, even though they had to date down. They know that they're dating down, but you gotta understand, these modern day women don't think that way. These modern day women, they can be fat, ugly, bad body, everything, and still feel like they're the prize. Still have an attitude, still talk back, still be masculine, still try to boss you around, even though they bring nothing to the table. And in this case, she didn't even bring attractiveness really to the table. He's just a straight male, so he just said, fuck it. It's somebody feeling me. He just threw in the towel. At least somebody. She a little bad body. She a little masculine. She this. At least somebody feeling me. And that's what's happening with a lot of men. A lot of men have to date down. And if it's not dating down by the looks, it's dating down by who the person is. Because women, their minds have been blown up so hard that every single woman who is even somewhat decent, not really. What I mean by somewhat decent is they look pretty, but once you get to know them, they're actually really horrible people. They even still they feel like they can get a little baby or some rapper or some a celebrity or, some billionaire or millionaire. This is their mind. This is their mind. And then when they do date a guy that is superior to them, because he's a guy, even if he works at the same job as her and makes the same amount of money, he's still superior to her because he's a guy. 9 times out of 10. She still will feel like she's settling for that guy. So a lot of guys cannot date their equals because girls don't date their equals. They date guys that they perceive are better than them in every single category. It is very few guys that can date a girl outside of their league. And even if she's below you, she's still gonna, let's put it like this, even if she's below you and you treat her as if she's your equal, or you put her on a pedestal and treat her as if she's better than you, she's gonna lose respect for you. And that relationship is already over. Even if she's in the relationship, she's not in the relationship, if you know what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm trying to say? She's constantly searching for your replacement. The only thing is the guys that she likes, they can read through the BS and they know that she's not worth taking serious. So that's the limbo that she's stuck in. She's stuck in the limbo of she has a lot of options, but her hypergamous nature and her pickiness stops her from pulling the trigger. I honestly believe if the shoe was on the other foot, I honestly believe men with that many options, that's why I try to teach guys CLG, men with that many options will eventually pick the best choice for their lifestyle. In my opinion, I believe men are better decision makers. This is my opinion. I believe men are better decision makers than women. Men can pull the trigger and be happy with their decision. And they can live with their decision for years. Women can pull the trigger and still want more. I know I bought this car, but it doesn't have the heated seats. I think I'm just going to trade it in, take the $5,000 loss, and then get the car that I really want. The man be like, it ain't got heated seats, fuck it, I'll deal with it. I'll make it work. You feel me? And he'll drive that car into the fucking ground. Unless he's trying to impress a woman. You get what I'm trying to say? Unless he's trying to impress a woman, it's a different story. He might upgrade, whatever the case is. But if a man could be a man has no problem sitting in a folding chair with a little TV, a video game, a bed somewhere. A man has no problem sleeping in a studio. If he wasn't trying to impress a woman, a man has no problem sleeping in a studio. You get what I'm trying to say? Men are simple creatures. When you see a man trying to stunt, that's called peacocking. He's doing it for the hoes. Because he's trying to entertain other hoes so he can possibly get better options or just flat out more options. But if a man wasn't trying to impress hoes, a nigga could sleep in a motherfucking shack with a folding lawn chair, make sure it's video games, water, food, whatever. He good. You understand what I'm trying to say? Women do force personal development from a lot of men sometimes. Not necessarily women, but the pursuit of women. Let's put it like that. That's why I always tell people, CLG, a lot of people be like, oh, $48 a month, bro. That would be the best money you ever spent. Because at the end of the day, you realize that you don't gotta spend $7 million, $10 million, $11 million. Because they say on average, men spend between $4 to $7 million throughout their lifetime, which is a shit ton of money, on either trying to impress women or on women specifically. $4 to $7 million before they die. That's a shit ton of money. That's a shit ton of money that you can keep in your pocket. That's a shit ton of money that you can invest. That's a shit ton of money that you can help grow. That's a shit ton of money that you can pass down from generations to generations. And guess what? What I teach guys in the CLG is you can spend minimal and still have a very amazing sex life with hot women. Yes, you're going to have to become a little bit more masculine. Yes, you're going to have to turn down your care. Yes, you're going to naturally be more selfish and understand that the efforts that you put into the other side really aren't worth it like you think they are. There's nothing worse than putting your all into a woman who doesn't like you. Because she will use you. And after she's done using you, and you got pretty much nothing in return. I've seen guys run up the bag on women. I've seen a guy with a hot girl every single time I met her. Every time I met him, he was with this hot girl, dropping bags on her. Nigga spent more money I've ever seen him spend. He was going to hookah lounges, going to hookah, doing that. I say, damn, I ain't never seen this nigga buy this many drinks and buy this much hookah and stuff like that. $700 bills, $800 bills, da-da-da. Then I stopped seeing the guy with her. And I'm like, damn, what happened to that girl you was always... I stopped seeing that girl with him. I said, damn, what happened to that girl that you used to always kick it with? He said, man, you know, we had a talk and whatever. She said she ain't looking for nothing serious or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I'm saying, in my head, I'm like, I know this nigga dropped some bags on her. I was like, well, shit, at least the pussy was good. He was like, nah, man. Every single time I tried to get the second base, she'll always shut it down. This and this. And in my head, I can't say this stuff out loud. Because a lot of people, they're not ready for that CLG mentality. They're just not ready for it. So I don't want to say it out loud and kick the nigga while he's down. But if I had to do the calculations, I say, man, I know he spent at least 5 bands on this bitch to get nothing in return. Not even to get a piece of pussy. Not even to get some pity pussy. At that point, he could have at least got some pity pussy. Now, pity pussy is horrible. I don't like it. Can't stand it. But pity pussy is better than no pussy. And if you're going to drop 3 to 5 bands, that's what I estimated, on a chick, just for her to, at the end of it, just be like, oh, I'm not looking for nothing serious. Bitch, you could have told him that before he was dropping that bag, trying to get you drunk and going out with him and hookah lounges and this and this. That could have been discussed before the 5th, 6th, 7th time the nigga was linking up with you. That's just my opinion. But women don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves. Like I told you, no woman is truly loves a guy or loyal to a guy. She's only loyal to her emotions. So when she feels like she's done with that guy, she doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't think that, damn, this guy had to work overtime and, you know, pay for this for me and do this for me. Damn, this guy put $10,000 into me and he's not going to get nothing out of it. No, in her opinion, she's like, I deserved it and that's his loss. He's stupid. Let me just keep giving this pussy to this guy who gives no fuck about me. Let me keep giving this pussy to this guy who took me to McDonald's after he fucked. You feel me? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Nigga say, damn, nigga, the only thing open at McDonald's. You want to get something? You want me to get you something from there? Yeah, baby. Motherfucker took her to McDonald's. And you spending 3 to 5 bands on this bitch. And you didn't even get this. You didn't even get to taste this bitch's tongue. You didn't even get to kiss the bitch. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. The guy was saying it in a very politically correct way. Oh, they like competent men and da-da-da-da. No, they don't give a fuck about you niggas at all. They like who they like for the reasons that they like them. And guess what? It is temporary. Because she's going to be more loyal to how she feels than to you. Just understand that. A guy can suffer. A guy can fall out of love with his wife and still be in the house, take care of the kids, and do the responsible, honorable thing. A guy can suffer and gracefully suffer, if that's a word. You know what I mean? It might be some weird shit. People say oxymoron, whatever the case is. I don't give a fuck. A guy can gracefully suffer if he has to for very long periods of time. And he can trick himself to be happy. Well, at least I got my family. At least I got this. At least I got this. A guy can trick himself to be happy. But a woman, not so much so. A woman is very much tied to how she feels. The sooner you understand that, the better off your life will be. This is why CLG is so important. Because not only do I teach you the female side and the female nature and things like that, I allow you to understand that the importance of running things your way. Being selfish. You know what I mean? They're going to call you all types of names for you being masculine. They're going to call you narcissistic. They're going to call you a womanizer. They're going to call you all types of stuff. At the end of the day, who gives a fuck what they say? Most of their words are meaningless. Women are the original players, like one of the guys in the community says, and they are the narcissists. They are the gaslighters. They are the manipulators. They do it better than anybody on the planet. This is why these two guys are trying their best to politically correctly as possible explain why it is what it is. Why, when I was this way when she met me, she tries to change me. That's called controlling. But instead of us being able to call them controlling, they call us controlling before we can get the words out. They say the things that they are to you before you can say it to them. She's going to say you're a narcissist. No, more women are narcissistic than men. She's going to say you're controlling. No, more women are controlling than men. She's going to say all types of shit. You're a gaslighter. More women gaslight than men. She's going to say you're a manipulator. More women manipulate than men. All of the things that she's going to say are describing more women than they are describing men. It is the oldest trick in the book. Say it before they say it. Accuse them of what they're doing. Let me accuse him of what I'm doing. So instead of him looking at my flaws, he's worried about his flaws. I'm making him self-conscious of his behavior. And guess what? What I'm really doing, and this is the truth, right? This is the God honest truth. What this guy was trying to do, he's trying to be politically correct. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. And this is why I tell you guys to stick to the end of the videos, because this is where the real gold nuggets come. What she's really doing is she's trying to destroy your ego. She's trying to destroy your potential to be able to attract other women, because she knows that once she eliminates all your options of having other women in your life, she has all of the power and control. Didn't I just tell you that women love control? They're the controlling ones. They're the manipulators. They're the gaslighters. But the guy that she can't manipulate is the guy that she respects and that she will fall in love with, because she cannot manipulate him. She cannot trick him with social norms. And women love these social norms that they fought to get in place. They love the fact that they can shame a man for not wanting to marry them. They love the fact that they can shame a man for not just wanting one girl and wanting to be monogamous. They love the fact, but the man that they can't shame is the man that they fall in love with, because that is the man that they respect, because that man moves to the beat of his own drum and he doesn't allow her to break him. That is the man they truly love. But that man also is a very good picker of women. And that man rarely ever picks women with bad character. Unless he gets blinded by his emotions. But that man, for him to really stand on business, that man never falls in love with a girl. The most he would ever do is like a girl. He'll never fall in love with a girl. So he can't be blinded by the emotions, because the emotions would never be strong enough for him to be blinded by her. The pussy would never be good enough for it to blind him. He learned a long time ago that falling in love with a woman is not a good idea for a man. She should be the one in love. She should be the one obsessed, not he. So make sure you guys jump into the CLG community. It is only $48 a month, less than $500 a year. You get a free one-on-one call with me, and you get access to the Hard 30. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.